Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and today I put together some of my best Thanksgiving Dollar Tree DIYs for you. Thanksgiving is going to be here before we know it, and I don't like to skip it. I don't like to go straight to Christmas. I like to make some Thanksgiving Day DIYs. So for the first one, we're going to make a really cute little thankful planter box, and we're going to do that with two of these long signs from Dollar Tree. I found these. They are the natural wood, which is great because I can just stain that a darker shade. I don't really want that light wood, and I love the pumpkin cutout. So the first thing I did was just cut the holes off the top of the sign because I want to use all the rest of the sign to make a really cute little planter box. So I don't want those holes to interfere with my design or to have to fill those later, so I just cut those off with my saw. And then I'm just measuring about 6 inches down and cutting off the pumpkins from the sign. Now I'm going to have those pumpkins in my design because those are going to be the ends of my planter box. So it cuts pretty good with my saw, so just giving it a quick sand here. And like I said, I wanted to change the color. I didn't think that this color of wood was very warm, but you still have that wood grain. So you could easily stain it with some Antique Wax by Waverly and get like this warm wood look while maintaining that beautiful wood grain. So I am just using a paper towel to wipe off the excess. You know I love Antique Wax by Waverly because it's a beautiful stain and it dries quickly. And when you're crafting, you're trying to get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and stain the front, the back, and both side pieces with that Antique Wax by Waverly and clean up my mess. I love crafting on a silicone mat. I got my silicone mat actually on Amazon. I always have that linked in my shop below. I get a lot of questions about that. I love it. And then I am going to decorate it with this little metal thankful word. Now, this was not necessarily in the fall aisle at Dollar Tree. This was actually just in the Crafter Square location, but I think they have a couple different versions of it. This one I thought was nice and long and would be perfect for a planter box. It does have holes in it so that you can hang it, but I'm just going to kind of ignore those. That's fine. I don't really want it to be the galvanized metal look though, so I want to paint it. So to try to get the paint to stick to the metal a little bit easier or better, I'm just adding some Mod Podge all over a thin coat and drying that just so the paint kind of has something to stick to, because if you've ever painted these metal pieces from the Dollar Tree, they scratch pretty easily. And so then I'm going over it with just ivory acrylic, just trying to carefully go over it so the paint like stays on it, doesn't kind of get rubbed off. And it is going to require a couple coats. I thought that the white thankful word would pop against that brown wood and look really pretty, but like nice neutral colors. Going to be doing a lot of wood DIYs today for the Thanksgiving DIYs, and this is one of my favorite. So now that I have it dry, I can go ahead and attach my little metal thankful word here to the front of my planter box, just by adding a little hot glue here and there. Hopefully that it won't come out too much, but enough to make sure that it is good and attached. And, you know, hot glue and metal doesn't always work well together. You might want to switch up a different kind of glue, but actually it held up for me just fine. So once I get it on there, I can kind of see, you know, any of the paint that's on the sides. I just clean that up real quick. I'm not going to worry about staining the inside of the box because you're totally not going to be able to see it. Now it's just a matter of putting this together. So since I cut these the same exact length as the width of the board, it's going to fit on there perfectly. So I'm going to use the little mini Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue one flat on my side piece like that. And then on this piece, I'm going to glue it sideways. I don't go all the way to the top because I don't want you to be able to see it, But that way I have like a larger piece to attach to the side and a larger piece to attach to the front of it. So then I just go ahead and glue that, trying to keep like a 90-degree angle, trying to keep everything square there. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here on the other side, doing one flat against the side and then one on its side. And I've built many boxes like this. It totally works. It's just an easy way to do some building with those Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. Now, as you can see, it's kind of not really that square, but once I go ahead and attach the other side, it will square this out. So same thing. I do one flat and one on its side. The one on the bottom, I'm lining up directly with the bottom because that's going to help me attach the bottom of my box too. And then I can go ahead and kind of stretch that out so that I can glue the back panel on. So I'm going to do one side at a time. Once I get this side glued on, I can come over here and glue this side down as well. And this is how it turned out. I think that I got to this point and I was like, you know what? I didn't plan for what I was going to do for the bottom of it, but I do have more of those signs, so I think that's going to work perfectly. Another thing that I've done when I've made planter boxes like this is use those little plastic cutting boards from the Dollar Tree that are real thin, and that works too if you need to just kind of have a bottom here. But I'm going to go ahead and cut another one of those signs down. So I used a total of 3 of the long signs to make this. And this piece, it wouldn't matter if you had the pumpkin one or not. They have these for every season because you just want the wood piece. And I just glue that on all 4 of the Jenga blocks that I have there in the corners. And it's not going to give me like a completely sealed box here, but I'm going to try to seal it in the best that I can with a little bit of hot glue, just so it keeps that square shape. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, trying to seal up that border. And I love those little pink things that you put on your fingers from the Dollar Tree to protect you from hot glue. It works great. So there is our little thankful box. Now it's time to fill it in with some things that will look like fall. But first, I want to cover the little pumpkin cutouts with something cute. So I'm going to use white burlap. This is a white burlap roll that I got on Amazon. It is in my shop, but you know, Dollar Tree has white burlap now too, if you're lucky. So I just cut out a piece larger than the little pumpkin cutout, and then I just hot glue that onto the inside of the side of my panel, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This gives it a really beautiful texture from the outside. It matches that ivory that we used for the thankful word, and it covers up the hole because you don't really want to be able to see inside the planter box because it's just going to be filled with foam and stuff. So this is what we have so far. There is my beautiful white burlap pumpkins on the side. And I love incorporating the shape cutouts like that in my design. I've made like candle holders and stuff out of these long signs too. It's always so fun. Now it's time to fill it up. I'm going to use a couple of these little floral foam blocks from the Dollar Tree and set them side by side. It is going to fill up this box nicely. Not super tall though, but I think we can make it work because I just want to make the planter box look full. I'm not even going to take them out of the package. You're not going to be able to see them. And then I found some great fall greenery at Dollar Tree, and we're just going to start filling this up. I like these. These are like, I guess, the Dollar Tree version of wheat. And in my last Thanksgiving video, I was able to find real wheat at my grocery store. Some of you guys asked what grocery store I shop at because they've never seen wheat at their grocery store, but Publix. And they have it with like their pumpkins and stuff at the front of the store for seasonal. And then I also used corn husk in that video, and I actually got those because, you know, people make tamales with those. Now to fill it up. I have a lot of Spanish moss and I have a lot of area to fill. So I go ahead and just fill that up with Spanish moss. You could always, you know, boost up, you know, your floral foam if you wanted to with like newspaper or something like that, if you didn't want to use as much material. But I don't mind using this much Spanish moss because I can always reuse it if I need to. And I did mix in a couple different kinds there. I mixed in the brown too, just to give it a little bit more color. I also picked up some of these Dollar Tree flowers. It's kind of hard to see there, but these are called the dahlia bush, I think. And I really like this color, the ivories. I think this is going to go great for fall. It's a little tall, so I'm going to go ahead and like trim that down a little bit, but I'm going to leave it all attached just to make it easier and put that down at the end. As you can see, I used 2 wheat. I kind of centered those, and you kind of want to use an odd number when you're arranging stuff like this. And so I did one of each one of those at the end, and then I can do some in the middle. I'm going to switch it up to a different type of flower. This is the hydrangeas from Dollar Tree, and they're very similar color, a little bit more white. And I'm leaving those all attached too, just shortening the stem on those by cutting those down and arranging those like that. I felt like I needed a few more. So these are not fall, they're actually the summer sunflowers from the Dollar Tree, but I love the colors on them. I love the white flowers with the big brown centers. And so since they're not summer, I don't want all of that bright green in my project. I just take off the flowers and then take off all of the green leaves so that I can kind of hide that in there. You'll see the beautiful flowers that are going to go with everything, but you're not going to see that bright green because you don't really want that for Thanksgiving decor. And I had a second bunch. I'm going to go ahead and center that right there in the back to make it really nice and full. And here it is. We have our little thankful planter box. I think this is so fun and welcoming. This would look great inside or outside your home. This would look really cute on a porch. I'm a big fan of faux flowers, mainly because I don't have a green thumb at all. But this is how it turned out. Our little thankful planter box. I made it with 3 of the long pumpkin signs from the Dollar Tree. I'm so glad that I decided to stain that. I think that's so beautiful and warm. It's going to look great with Thanksgiving decor, but I also really like the neutral colors. Here I also wanted to show you what it looks like from the side with a white burlap pumpkin. And you know, some of those flowers too also are made out of burlap, so they give it a really beautiful feel. And the Dollar Tree wheat is, you know, something that you can use if you can't find the real stuff at your grocery store. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment out of today's video and let you know that I've introduced memberships on my channel. For $4.99 a month, you can get early ad-free access to my videos like this one and a few other perks as well. And it's just an easy way for you to support your favorite YouTube creator. For the next DIY, I'm just going to use a thrifted sign. I got this at Goodwill for half price, so it was like $1.50. I love using a thrifted sign. Sometimes I use my own signs that I have bought years and years ago just to remake it. I thought this had a really cool blue frame, so I'm going to cover up that sweet corn label on here and everything and just go ahead and paint everything ivory. I'm just trying to get like a blank canvas that I can do a Thanksgiving DIY on. So it is going to take a couple of coats to cover all of that because of course that label and stuff was super busy and I wanted to have a nice ivory frame. I love doing like a neutral fall color scheme and I think ivory fits in really well. It also goes really well with my coastal farmhouse decor. I have a lot of ivory. It really makes things pop against it. But basically just wanted a blank canvas and that's what we have now. Now we can decorate this. I love using blue for fall, personal preference. It goes with my coastal farmhouse, but we are going to cover the back of our thrifted sign with one of these placemats. I love these. I've been getting these from the Dollar Tree for years. It's that beautiful like light blue mint green color. And I figured out how long it is, and then you can kind of see the grain on this to trim that down into a perfect straight line. And I just wanted something to cover the whole back. Now it does have holes in it, which is why I made sure to give myself, you know, a beautiful like white canvas behind it so you won't be able to see any of the design through it. And then to attach it, I'm just going to use Mod Podge. You could use something a little bit thicker. It is kind of a rubbery material, but I like using Mod Podge. And whenever I do Mod Podge for something kind of heavy like this, I just make sure that I use like a nice thick coat of it and then lay my placemat down inside. Now I have this beautiful blue-green background to work with. And what I want to add to it is a turkey for Turkey Day. So they have these little wood turkeys at Dollar Tree right now. And as you can see, it's a little big, but you know what? I don't mind it bumping out from the sign, so I think it's going to work. Now, it has a hole in it to hang it, which I don't really need because I'm going to be attaching that to my sign. So I just go ahead and fill that in with a little Dollar Tree spackle. And then since it's like just plain wood, it's actually kind of got a cool wood grain on it anyway. We are going to stain it with Antique Wax by Waverly again, just using full straight, not diluting it or anything. And that way it will kind of coordinate together with that little Thankful planter box that we made, a very warm color for Thanksgiving. And the raw wood from Dollar Tree just stains so well. It's going to bring out the wood grain. I'm just making sure that I get all of the edges and everything. And then I can go back in with a paper towel, wipe off all the excess, and dry it. Look how beautiful that little turkey looks now. And then we can attach it here to the front of the sign. Now, since it's going to need to bump out, I'm going to glue a couple of the Dollar Tree Jenga blocks to the back, so I have something to glue it to the back with. And I just use hot glue to attach our little 3D turkey here, and then we can keep decorating him. I found this great little thankful sign for $1 at Target Dollar Spot. It says thankful, grateful, and blessed. The colors work perfectly. And so that's what we're going to use to decorate my little turkey. But you could totally DIY your own little sign if you wanted to say something. Since the turkey is kind of basic, just being stained one color, I thought it needed a little pizzazz by using a sign and stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is hot glue on my little sign. The color is green, so it doesn't quite match the placemat, but it's pretty close. So I just kind of glue that right there in the center of my sign, but also on the turkey. And then to cover the holes, because it was a hanging sign, I'm just going to use some thumbtacks from Dollar Tree and push those into the wood turkey. And it's going to help hold it on there, but it's also going to give it like a little decorative touch. Easy peasy so far. I thought about leaving it like this, and then I thought, I think it needs like something else to make it really special. So I decided to add a fall floral to it. I found this great plant at Dollar Tree, a little flower. It's got a pot and everything. The reason I wanted to use this one is because I thought the color was perfect and it was nice and large. So I'm just going to pull the flower off and attach it to my little turkey sign for a little pizzazz. I was trying to decide if I wanted it to be centered on the turkey or off-centered. I thought if it was off-centered a bit like that, you couldn't really see like the turkey head and stuff like that. But if you centered it on the sign like that, it was going to make a lot more sense. But I went back and forth on it. And then I'm just going to trim this up a little bit and hot glue this to my sign. Just putting hot glue directly on the stem and on my little placemat back there. And glue that right in between the turkey feathers. And I think it took this little wood turkey and just made him extra spectacular for Thanksgiving. This is really cute. You could totally leave this up for fall, but it is especially great for November and Thanksgiving because I love decorating for Thanksgiving too. Can't wait for Thanksgiving this year for my son to come home from college. It's going to be so fun. We're going to have to cook lots of wonderful food. And this is how it turned out. This is how it looks hanging in my home. I think it looks nice against my like tan walls and very festive for Thanksgiving. Now the next DIY is super simple. I picked up another placemat. This one says gather here with grateful hearts from the Dollar Tree. And then I also picked out the largest frame I could find, which was an 11 by 14 frame from Dollar Tree. And I thought we could just simply frame the placemat because the placemat's really pretty. Sometimes they are. I've also crafted with like the spring truck, with the truck full of flowers and stuff like that. And this is one of the designs that I find that they've been having for a couple of years now. So we're just going to pop off the back of our 11 by 14 frame here. And I really wanted to make sure that my frame was going to be large enough to cover the placemat, and I think it's going to be perfect. Now, I'm not a big fan of glass. I really kind of want it to look like a canvas. So we're probably going to ditch the glass on this design, but otherwise I think this is going to work. Now, I do need to cut the placemat down to size. And I want to make sure that I don't cut off anything in the design that I want you to be able to see. So I just kind of center the back of the frame on there. And then I can kind of sketch that out with a Sharpie so I know exactly what size to cut this down. And this is such a quick, easy way. I mean, it's even easier than a printable because it's already a perfect design. It is nice and flat, right? Just begging to be framed. These would be great to use as placemats too, though. How beautiful are these? I love the green color. And I cut it down to size like that. And then let's DIY the frame to make it extra special. Right now, it's kind of like a deep color of brown, and it looks kind of cheap. I want it to be like a beautiful, like warm color, and I totally didn't have it. So as you can see, I'm mixing Antique Wax by Waverly, ivory, yellow, all kinds of colors together because I kind of wanted this warm brown color, and I finally got close to what I wanted. Something kind of caramely. And then I am using one of those chunky brushes from the Dollar Tree. I'm completely out of those. I need to buy more of those. Reminder to myself. And I am just distressing all over the frame, leaving some of the dark brown showing through to kind of give it like a faux wood grain. And I think that looks cool like that, right? Spoiler though, I don't end up keeping it like that, but I wanted to go ahead and see what it looked like with it. That's when I was like, you know, I wanted to kind of coordinate with the other DIYs we're doing today, and that wood color was just not the same. So I am just going to paint the entire frame with ivory like this. So I kind of have a blank canvas to work with. And then I'm going to go in with just straight Antique Wax by Waverly and distress the ivory with that. And it's going to give me that warm stained wood color that we've had on our other DIYs today. So this is just me being extra. I'm sure you know when you're crafting, you do something, you spend all that time doing it, and then you're like, I don't really like it. Let's try something else. Well, that was me doing that on this DIY. So I still want the wood grain on there. I just want this different color of stain, and I think that looks a little bit more what I was going for. So now we can pop it back in there. I'm skipping the glass, just putting the Dollar Tree placemat right inside, putting the back on, and lowering all the staples. It already has a hanger built into the back of the frame, so that makes it a little bit easier. And try to clean up any stain that might be on the back. I don't want any of that to get on my wall. And there it is, gathered here with grateful hearts. It's beautiful. I love that design. And the frame looks nice and wood with all the distressing that we did on it. Makes it look way more high-end than the color originally was dark brown, if you remember. And this is how it looks hanging in my home. It's a nice, large, looks like canvas hanging in my home, and it costs $2.50. So can't beat that. And again, it would be great for Thanksgiving, but this is something you could really leave up all fall. Now for a smaller version, Dollar Tree also has the coasters in the same design. So I picked up one of the coasters, and we're going to make a little small fall Thanksgiving sign with it. Now to frame it out, I picked up one of their little tile signs there. I didn't really care which one it was. I just wanted the frame because I thought we could just do our own little thing here, kind of build it out and make a small sign. This would be great for a tier tray or something like that. Now, as you can see, the tile is smaller than the tile that was in there before, but I think we can make it work. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it in just by doing a bead of hot glue on the inside edge because, again, it is a little smaller. And glue that little beautiful coaster right in place. Yeah, don't sleep on these coasters from the Dollar Tree. They have some really pretty ones. They are fragile though, so be careful getting them home. I've had them break on me before. So this is what it looks like so far. I wanted it to be a larger piece to sit on my shelf, so I'm actually going to pair that with another Dollar Tree sign. So I picked up one a little bit larger. I don't need it to be a hanging sign, and so I'm just going to pop off a little sawtooth hanger on the back. We can always use that for another DIY. This was a fall sign, but I really just wanted that beautiful frame on it because I wanted to bring in warm colors, and I know that the tile frame that we used before is really sealed. You really can't stain that. I've tried to before. It's just so coated that you can't stain it. Now, it doesn't matter which sign you use for this because we're popping it all off anyway. I just wanted the back. It does have like the wallpaper on the back of it. And I was trying to decide which side would be better to use as my back here because it ripped the paper, of course, and stuff when I pulled the foam off. But I decided the back of it would probably be best to coat. And so I just cut out some contact paper from the Dollar Tree, something cheap. I love the wood grain. Gives it a fun finish. And I put that on the back just to give it a finished back so it doesn't look so crazy back there. Then just using a sanding sponge along all the edges, I can get like a perfect cut here by ripping off the excess vinyl. I like to finish the back of my projects, especially like a sign like this, something that you might be able to see the back of. Don't want to make it super obvious that it's a Dollar Tree DIY, right? Then to cover the back of it, I'm going to use the white burlap again. This is the burlap roll that I got from Amazon, but again, you can totally get white burlap from Dollar Tree. And the 6-inch roll was perfect because it's just the right size to cover this. I don't really want you to see the finished edges of it though. So I'm trying to trim that up so it will fit to size. Now to attach it, I'm just going to Mod Podge it down. Mod Podge works great for burlap because it's going to dry nice and clear, but it's nice and strong enough if you do a thick coat of it to get, really grab the material. So just spreading that out, laying my white burlap right on top. So we're going to have like the warm wood frame with the white burlap. So that's going to match like that Thanksgiving planter box that we made earlier. But then we're also going to have the little grateful sign that's going to kind of coordinate with the larger one that we did with the green and white, with a different color of wood frame. So I think it really all came together nicely. So I just trimmed up the excess material. And then I love this frame. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and reattach it here to the frame. It does have like some like thin nails that they use, but it's really going to require glue. So I just go on the inside of the frame, only the top and bottom. I don't think it's going to need very much, but I'm also going to use my hammer to try to reinforce the little nails back into it. And this is what we have so far, a nice blank canvas that we can decorate with the little Gather Here with Grateful Hearts tile sign. And look how cool that all looks together. It really kind of, I think, looks intentional. So now to attach it, I'm just going to do hot glue on the bottom of this frame. And when you're gluing onto burlap, it's got all the holes in there. So the glue is going to go right through to the back of that sign, making it nice and sturdy. So again, it's not too large, so you can still use this for a fall or a Thanksgiving tier tray DIY, which I will be coming out with a Thanksgiving tier tray DIY video, so look out for that one. Or I'm just going to use it for shelf decor for my home for Thanksgiving. But I'm glad that I expanded upon it and made it larger. I really like the little frame within the frame look. I think it looks cool. And so this is how it turned out. I love the Gather Here with Grateful Hearts. Again, I made this for Thanksgiving, but you could totally leave this up all fall. I love green for fall. I use a lot of greens, I use a lot of blues, and I use a lot of wood in my decorating. And I think it turned out really beautiful. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment out of today's video and let you know about my private Facebook group. I always have it linked in the description below. You're going to find out when I post new content and you'll get to see what everyone's been making. I'm also really active on Facebook, and then I also have Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and my handle on all of those is Crafty Beach on YouTube. I'd really appreciate it if you came and followed my Facebook page too. They are offering me a bonus anytime you comment, like, or share anything on my actual Crafty Beach page. They do give me a few cents. So, an easy way to support my channel. Okay, for the next Thanksgiving DIY, we're going to DIY this little gather sign from the Dollar Tree. Now, it's kind of cute on its own. It's got like a blue squiggly background on it, but we're going to DIY it and make it go with the rest of our fall Thanksgiving decor. Now, I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the back of it off because, as you can see, it's stapled on pretty good. They did not want this coming apart. So I tried using like a little Cricut scraper to get under there, and then I totally broke the corner off because I was really surprised how well this was attached on here. And then it's just not made out of quality material. It's made out of a thin cardboard. And then I just ripped it off, and then the frame itself came apart. And I was like, oh boy, I think I didn't know how to take this apart. Maybe the front panel comes off the sides better. I don't know. But that's okay. Even if your pieces of your frame fall apart like this, you can always put it back together. The side pieces stayed on, but the top and the bottom came off. And I'm just cleaning it up by removing the staples with a pair of pliers to try to get all of the backing that was on there before off. And I mean, it's all still here, so I can put it back together if I need to. I'm also going to remove the staples here from the side pieces and clean it up. Now, they know us Dollar Tree DIYers are going to try DIYing these signs. Why would they not make that a little bit easier to take apart? You know what I mean? So trying to figure out what goes where, I'm just going to reattach with hot glue this time the top part of my gather sign. And in the end, I think it actually helped my pattern by throwing away the back of it, because I do want it to kind of be a see-through piece because we're going to cover the back of it with fabric. And so I just hot glued the bottom one back on. We have it all kind of put together. I thought for a second there I had totally ruined the sign and that I was going to have to trash it. But we're going to cover it with that same white burlap. And so I'm just going to cut out a piece of it long enough. And that's what I mean by when I attach the fabric to the back, you can kind of see through it because you can see through the holes in the burlap. So it kind of gives you a cool effect. Like that. And it's going to coordinate nicely with the other DIYs that we've made today with the white burlap as well. You could totally use the tan burlap as well. I think that would be really cute too. But I was kind of going for like a little bit of ivory with these. Now, I don't like the wood finish on it at all. It's just a normal brown wood. Doesn't look like a wood grain at all. So to get a wood grain, I just mix some ivory with some antique wax by Waverly, and it's going to give me like this driftwoody color. I like this. I always use this to do my driftwood, my faux driftwood. And I just distress the entire sign. As you can see, I'm leaving some of the brown showing through, and a paper towel to kind of blend it in together. And then I'm going to go back in with just some straight antique wax by Waverly and distress it a little bit too, just to make sure it kind of has like, you know, all different colors of wood to kind of give it a faux wood grain. Now to attach my burlap to the back. Again, the 6-inch roll worked really well. It was a perfect size for the sign because I can always trim it down. But I want to make sure that I cover the entire back of it. So I'm going to start with hot glue instead of all those crazy staples that were in there before. And just hot glue the top seam to it and hot glue down both sides. Then we're going to do the same thing here on the bottom. And I am going to have excess fabric burlap to cut down on both sides and the bottom. But you can get like in there pretty tight. I just want to make sure that all the back of it's covered, but I don't really want any of the burlap sticking out visible from the front. And this is what it looks like now. It's got the wood grain, so I think that looks cool. And I like the ivory burlap in the back. So just very simple. You could use this. I made this specifically for Thanksgiving, but this would look great in any of your fall decor. And here is a little close-up image of our gather sign. Super sweet and fun. And I really like any of the gather or like the harvest feel items from Dollar Tree. You can really do some cute stuff with it like this. And again, you could leave it up all fall if you wanted to. Okay, let's keep with the Thanksgiving DIYs. I'm going to combine a couple leaf signs from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to thrift flip another sign. I got this great solid wood sign on sale for like $1.50 at Goodwill. You know, I used to shop at Goodwill a lot more because they would do these sales. Now they only do the sales if you pay for like the Goodwill like gold membership or whatever, I think. Maybe I should pay for it to see if it's worth it, but I haven't been shopping there very much since they quit doing their half price. Because I loved the half price on housewares. I could get great signs like this to thrift flip. And it does have words on it. I want a blank canvas. So again, I'm just going to go over the entire sign. And I'm just using some ivory acrylic paint, something cheap, just to give me a blank canvas. And I want to cover up all of the words on there. If you're thrifting something that's going to have words on it like that, especially like white with like dark letters on it like that, you can tell like one coat is really not going to cover it all the way. So it is going to require a couple coats at least on the words. Then for the fall Dollar Tree signs, I picked up a couple leaf signs. We're going to combine them together and make a really fun display. So this is the slatted leaf sign. This is one of my favorites for fall decor. Now, do your Dollar Tree still have all of their fall decor out? Most of mine do, but I went to one yesterday that has moved it all to the little square display that they have like right when you enter the store. So I don't know if that's all that they have left. It is a smaller store, so I know they need to make room for Christmas stuff, but I was like, hey, you have 2 aisles of things of Halloween stuff. Where's all the fall stuff? And then I am just going to stain the whole thing with Antique Wax by Waverly, including the boards there in the back, wiping off the excess with a paper towel. And I want to hang it like, you know, hanging down, upside down kind of. And I just put hot glue on both of the slats there on the back. And we're going to attach that directly to our thrifted sign. And that's going to kind of be a middle sign because I'm going to use a third sign here that's Dollar Tree metal sign that says fall is my favorite color. It's got that great light green plaid print that we've been using a lot today. So I thought this would be perfect. Just going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, take off the little hanger and the raffia bow that was on there, just to kind of leave just the metal sign itself. And even though it's not shaped exactly the same as the leaf behind it, I think I can make it work well together. Now I do want to cover up the holes in the leaf sign, the slatted leaf sign, and I'm just going to do that with some thumbtacks again. I really couldn't get all the way through to the bottom sign there, so I actually just kind of hot glued mine in place. But it kind of gives you a decorative touch, and I always like to cover the holes in my projects. And I think that looks pretty cool. So now we can attach the little fall is my favorite color metal leaf here to the front of that. And I think that the layering of the fall leaf signs is really fun. I was trying to decide how I was going to attach it on here. And so I start with just some twine and I wrap that around the back leaf here, lining up this where I want it to be. I do use a little hot glue right down the center of the sign, but I want to kind of reinforce that to make that stronger by wrapping it with that twine. So then I just tie a knot tying the leaf sign on, but it's also going to be decor because I tie a little bow on the end of it. And then I can use that to cover up the hole here in the top of the metal sign. So it's functional and decorative. Just going to burn off any fuzzies on that real quick. And I think this sign is super sweet. Fall is my favorite color. It was really easy to put together, and it's going to look great with the rest of my Thanksgiving decor. And again, it just says fall, so you could totally leave this one up year round. But just a fun idea of how to craft with those Dollar Tree leaf signs. Especially the smaller ones like this, because I made it a large piece like this to hang in my home, and it gives a lot of punch. And I love that green color again. I'm definitely not afraid to decorate with like the blues and the greens for fall for sure. Now, the next sign, I kind of needed my own custom sign, and I love crafting with these craft boards from the Dollar Tree. So I picked up 2 of these. They have a real rough side and a smooth side, so you definitely want to put the rough side on the back. And even though they're cut pretty well, they do require a little bit of sanding. What I'm going to do is combine 2 of the craft wood pieces from the Dollar Tree together to make a larger square sign to do something really pretty. I like crafting with it because it's real wood, and so we can stain it and make it look beautiful. I just did a bead of hot glue and pushed the 2 signs together. They're nice and thick, so they don't bow or anything like that, and it turns out really high quality here. Now to stain it, again, we're just going to use straight antique wax by Waverly to bring out that beautiful wood grain in this sign. And this is going to make a really beautiful background. It's going to go with the same stain color that we've been using on a lot of the wood DIYs today. And it just makes sure to go over the front and the sides here of all of it. Anything that's going to be visible. The sides are a little rough, so they're a little hard to stain. But Antique Wax by Waverly, look at the gorgeous wood grain in this Dollar Tree wood. It looks so high end. They do have knots on it, so I kind of like alternated which end got the knots there. Then we're going to use one of these little wood bead pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. This is the one that's like green and ivory. I did just pick up one of these the other day at Dollar Tree that was all white beads. It's the first time I've seen that one. I really like it. I'm going to have to use that for another DIY. And I thought we could combine this cute little wood bead pumpkin with some of the faux leather words from the fall section at Dollar Tree to do a really cute little sign here. These are like the tan leather words, and there is, of course, one that says thankful, so it's going to be perfect for Thanksgiving. And I thought the combination of the thankful word with a little wood bead pumpkin on that beautiful stained wood background was going to turn out lovely. So it was a little tricky to hot glue this down because I'm going to hot glue the wood beads directly to the sign, but I don't really want them to like spin around or anything, so I got to be kind of fast and glue that down to our sign. Anytime you're going to hot glue and you've just stained it like that too, you want to make sure that bottom sign is good and dry. And then I'm just going to outline it with some twine. And this is the twine from Walmart. It's a little bit thicker. And I thought that I could kind of frame it out. But then the twine is actually going to glue the wood bead pumpkin to that back sign because I wasn't sure how strong that was going to be since I glued all of those wood beads on and they were all kind of going every which way. And, you know, it's going to be kind of subtle. You're not really going to be able to notice it too much, but I think it's going to make it stronger because I want to hang this sign on my wall and I don't want this little wood bead pumpkin popping off. So I just go around the left side there, just kind of gluing that in, and just a neat trick that you can do to kind of, you know, make your project a little bit more stable. And again, it's really subtle. It kind of blends in with the wood background, so you're not going to be able to notice it too much. Just trying to get it as close to it as possible. Now for the thankful word. Mine is tan, so I was worried it wouldn't really pop against that, and I really want it to match my little wood bead pumpkin, so I'm just going to paint mine. So I just take some ivory acrylic paint and a little makeup sponge and give it a quick coat of paint. You can totally paint those faux leather things from the Dollar Tree. It was so easy. Just going to make sure it's good and dry, and then I'm going to go back in with one more coat just to make it a little bit brighter, so it'll really pop against that stained wood background. And then we're just going to attach that little thankful word right here to the top, kind of centering it on it, just like I did with the would-be pumpkin. And just using a little hot glue here and there to make sure it all stays nice and flat against the sign. I thought this DIY came out so beautiful. So I used like 3 items from the Dollar Tree plus a little thankful word. So super inexpensive. And remember, we had that sawtooth hanger from that sign earlier, so we might as well use it. I'm just going to go ahead and hammer that into the back of my sign right there in the center. And we have a beautiful piece of artwork for Thanksgiving. This would look great. You can lean this up against something, or I'm going to actually hang mine on my wall. It's going to go great with all of the DIYs that we've made so far today. And this is how it turned out. So you can see if you use that like real wood panels from the Dollar Tree, you can't fake that wood grain. That wood grain looks so beautiful. And you wouldn't really know it's there until you give it a stain. So there's our little thankful would-be pumpkin. I love how that turned out. Now I wanted to use like a window decal to make a wood round. I found a great one that says give thanks. So I thought I would take one of these little wood rounds from the Dollar Tree and see if we can make a fun Thanksgiving sign with this. Even though they're thin, they are still made out of wood, so they do stain beautifully. And we've done a lot of staining on our wood items today. So we're going to go ahead and give this one the same finish. So again, just using Antique Wax by Waverly, we are going to stain the wood round. Now, I bought a whole case of these wood rounds at DollarTree.com just to make sure that I always had some. This piece is pretty flat, but maybe I've bought too many because the ones that I have now are all warped. Do you guys have any tricks to try to fix the warped Dollar Tree wood signs like this? If you do, be sure to leave me a comment down below. I love learning from you guys. I just wipe off the extra Antique Wax by Waverly with a paper towel. And then we can attach this great Give Thanks window decal. It's kind of like a dark green color, the Give Thanks. And then it's got like some fall leaves on there as well. And then to attach it, we are going to Mod Podge it on there. But first, I wanted to distress the sign. And so I just went over the whole thing with ivory. And then I'm using a baby wipe and just still working in that one direction, distressing the whole thing. The reason I did that is because I thought that the stain was too dark and that you weren't going to be able to read the Give Thanks on there. So I just wanted a lighter stain, and I had already stained it. So this is what I ended up with. I think that did make it a little bit more legible. It was just too dark. But that's a way, if you've already stained it, you can try to redeem yourself. Now, I also want to make it extra special since it's just a thin Dollar Tree sign. And I'm going to do that using some of the little wood half beads. Now, these are not from Dollar Tree. I actually get these on Amazon. I do have these linked in my Amazon shop below, and they can just really make a Dollar Tree sign special. I am just going to frame out the sign with this. Now, you could paint them or stain them. I kind of like them just raw wood like that. It's going to have 2 different finishes of wood. It's going to make it look, give it a little bit more character. So I went ahead and lined them all up so I knew exactly how many of those I will need. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach the window decal. I am just going to use a thin coat of Mod Podge all over the sign because I wanted to have like that same matte finish everywhere that you look. So not just where the decal, just go all over the entire sign. And I want it to be, pretty thin because all I'm adding is the window decal. I'm going to lay the dark green Give Thanks sign on there. And, using window decals is a lot quicker and easier, but you could always, cut out some vinyl with your Cricut machine and kind of do the same thing. I lay it flat on there and then just go over the top of it with another coat of Mod Podge and give it a quick dry. Now, if you have any bubbling like that, A lot of times it will kind of work its way out, but I do have one of those little Cricut brayers, so I did try to smooth that out, and that definitely helped. Now, I still had a little bit of sheen, and I want to make sure that kind of blends in, becomes part of that back sign, so I go over it with a nice coat of Mod Podge. Again, drying that and sealing everything in. Look how beautiful that looks. Just making sure I don't have any bubbles. It's looking pretty good. And then we can go back and attach all these wood beads. I kind of got them out of the way, but I want to go ahead and line them all back up so I know exactly how many to use, so I don't end up at the end with like too much space or not enough space. And then we're just going to go in with a little dot of hot glue. It's a little bit harder with this Ryobi hot glue gun because it does shoot out a lot of hot glue. To do something, just a small dot of hot glue on this, but I'm going to try to use restraint. And I'm just going to do one dot and attaching that on there. And since these wood beads, I mean, these are, a nice size. Can't remember exactly the millimeter on these, but it's going to give the sign like, more depth, make it look thicker, make it look a little bit more high end. And then we're just going to do that, gluing those all the way around, framing it out. You could also use wood beads from the Dollar Tree, but I really do appreciate the half beads like that. Now I need to replace the hanger on there. So this is the original hanger that came on it. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit here by burning off the fuzzies and reattaching that to our sign. Now I thought it was a little bit plain and maybe needed just a little bit more fall. So I decided to take some of the Dollar Tree leather leaves. These are like the oak leaves, I guess. And they match the leaves on that design. That like orangish brown color. I'm just going to cut off the plastic stems. I don't really like the way those look. And scatter those out. I can have room for one here at the top. And so I'm going to go ahead and hot glue that on by putting a little hot glue on the stem of that. And this is going to give like a way more 3D feel to this sign as well. And it's going to give it some more character. Now for the bottom, I'm going to do a couple of leaves here. Again, just doing a little hot glue. I don't want the whole thing to be glued down. I want it to kind of stick out and look like just like fall leaves. And I have room for 2 of them down here. Kind of fills up some of that empty space. It definitely gives the Thanksgiving sign a little bit more character. So it is a lighter stain than the other wood DIYs we've done today. But I'm kind of glad I did that because it makes it easier to read the give thanks on there. So just a fun way to decorate a Dollar Tree wood round using a window decal from the Dollar Tree, some faux leather leaves, and some wood half beads. And I think it turned out just lovely for Thanksgiving. And these are pretty big too. You could always use this as a wall hanging in your entryway for Thanksgiving, or hang it like on your garage door. I know mine's next to my kitchen. Okay, you can always pick up these little Thanksgiving like planters from the Dollar Tree too. I'm going to try to make mine a little bit more special. I picked up one of the ivory ones, and I'm going to kind of add this to my coastal decor, but I wanted a little Thanksgiving decoration. So I'm going to cut out Dollar Tree brown rope, enough for the top and the bottom of the metal pot from the Dollar Tree, so we can kind of line them, frame it out, give these little metal pots from Dollar Tree a little bit more character. This one's ivory, and it says always be thankful, and it has like a little fall leaf on there. And I'm simply going to attach the Dollar Tree rope with hot glue all the way around. I think it's just going to give the planter more character, and I think it looks really pretty to kind of frame these out a little bit. I want to make just a simple little fall floral for Thanksgiving, but I want it to blend in with like my blue and my ivory coastal decor in my home. Because sometimes you just need a little touch of Thanksgiving. I'm going to do the same thing at the top, hot gluing the rope all the way around. And as you can see, this is my back of my blue mat days. I switched to white because I think it's a little bit easier to see, but I did love the blue mat too. I fill up the pot with some Dollar Tree foam and then cover that up with some Dollar Tree Spanish moss. And I like to do that first before I add my flowers to it because then you don't have to mess with it later. Now, I'm actually using like summer flowers, but I wanted blue, so I'm using the blue hydrangeas and these like little brighter blue ones too. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them all off the wreath form so I can kind of scatter those around. And the reason I'm using blue is because I really wanted to go with my coastal decor, but you could use any kind of fall flowers that you wanted. I did end up kind of gluing down my foam in there just to make it a little bit sturdier. Then I'm going to go back with this like softer blue color and kind of arrange these as well. So, you don't have to use traditional fall flowers if you don't want to. And I am going to have a bunch of coastal Thanksgiving DIYs coming up for you and where I use a lot of blue. And I'm just kind of arranging these all over, filling up that Dollar Tree pot. You could always add a real plant to that with some mums or something like that. Be super cute, but a cute little Thanksgiving planter idea. I used mine indoors on a shelf, but you could always use this out on your front porch as well. The metal, I think, will hold up nicely to being outside. And super cute. You never know what you're going to find at the Dollar Tree. I really hope you have enjoyed these Thanksgiving DIYs today. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. Comment your favorite Thanksgiving DIY below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. Enjoy the final reveal.
I come to you in times of trouble. You're always
And what an appropriate song, because I want to give a huge thank you to my Crafty Beach Bum members. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Coastal Couple, Pamela Bergeron, I Am Mojo Jojo, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Sandra Ray, Carrie R., Tracy Knight, Verna Noctegal, Nancy Wunner, Jan Zalata, Tammy Coates, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Butterfly Mama, and Maria Grace. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate you. If you would like to join, all you have to do is go to my YouTube page, hit the join button. It's $4.99 a month, early ad-free access to my videos, and you can cancel anytime. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of my Thanksgiving DIY video. If you would like to watch more Crafty Beach, YouTube thinks that you might enjoy this video right here. Happy crafting, everyone!